Right now the weather is perfect for it, so we don't have to worry about it being too cold. But if you have an outdoor area where air is circulating, you can space people out a little bit better. You can still give that dining feel. I would take that over being enclosed in a restaurant for the first couple of weeks, and I don't think our guests would really mind that much. So, even though the governor says we can reopen restaurants, I don't think they're going to completely reopen. And if they do completely reopen, I don't think it's going to be what we're normally used to when it comes to going to restaurants and dining in to eat. I was reading a very interesting article on Eater the other day, and I have it pulled up right here. They interviewed restaurateur Jean-Georges because he reopened his restaurants in Shanghai. And he had this to say: when you walk into the restaurant, it's all government rules. There are a lot of restrictions. Taking the temperature from all the chefs, taking temperature from the customers as well, no table bigger than 4, space 6 to 8 feet between tables, nobody touches money, so people go to an app for the restaurant on their phone. The waiter just brings wine, water, and food. So that is insane to think about. We are so used to the interaction, at least here in the States. I've never been overseas, so I wouldn't know what the restaurant experience is like in Europe. And probably if I ever do make it to Europe, it'll be a post-COVID-19 Europe, so I'll never get to know what it used to be like. Maybe, I don't know. This does raise a lot of different questions and what to expect here in the States. As far as restrictions go, I think our guests are going to expect a whole lot more from restaurants now, more than they ever have. Because of this closure and, all the restaurants having to close down, a lot of our favorite restaurants aren't going to be reopening, period. They just weren't able to, pay the rent. They weren't able to stay afloat for whatever reason. They probably won't be coming back. I don't know what the percentage is on that, but I'm sure it's pretty high. And then you also have to consider, before you even consider what you're going to do with the dining room, you got to make sure you're staffed. A lot of our people aren't going to want to come back. How about that server that has 2 children at home? They got 2 brand new babies. Are they going to want to risk going to work and getting sick and getting in contact with somebody inside of the restaurant and then going home and infecting their entire family? I don't think so. So you got to, first of all, before you even consider reopening, we have to make sure that we have enough staff to be able to reopen. And then once we do have that staff, what does it look like? I'm going to go and let's talk about what just the curbside model looks like before we go into the whole dining room aspect of it. Curbside pretty much will stay the same. A lot of restaurants that have been doing curbside are seeing, some success, some more than others, right? But I think if we're going to open something, those restaurants with patios should strongly consider, at least for the first couple of weeks, after the government or after your local government decides to reopen. I think it'd be super intelligent of you to open up just the patios. Right now the weather is perfect for it, so we don't have to worry about it being too cold. But if you have an outdoor area where air is circulating, you can space people out a little bit better. You can still give that dining feel. I would take that over being enclosed in a restaurant for the first couple of weeks, and I don't think our guests would really mind that much, because we are looking out for them, right? At the end of the day, they understand that we're looking out for them and that we have their best interest in mind. So I think if I owned my own restaurant and I was, and I had a patio and I had a dining room floor, we were still open for to-go and we were doing decent with to-go, I would strongly consider only opening the patio for now and then seeing where that goes. Being able to social distance and keep the air, the natural air circulating, I think would be a huge plus for us right now, especially with Cinco de Mayo coming up, with the weather starting to change. At least here in Atlanta, it's been in between 65 and 70-ish degrees. When it's sunny outside, it's beautiful. So now is the perfect time to be outside.